You've heard of chemtrails. You've probably even seen them. Those streaks in the sky that linger a little too long and give you a sore throat and brain fog. But what if I told you they're not just spraying aluminium and cloud seed anymore? What if I told you China has been perfecting powerful chemtrail formulas for decades, spraying its own cities with a weaponized fog laced with neurotoxins designed to pacify an entire population? And now that technology is being shared. According to insider reports, Bill Gates is merging his own aerial experimentation with China's chemical payloads. And in return, he's giving them access, unprecedented access, to American airspace. This isn't weather control, this is people control. Stay tuned, because what we're uncovering next will change how you look at the sky forever. When was it for you? That moment when you looked up and realized the clouds just aren't right anymore. When did it hit you that something is being sprayed up there, streaking across our skies and changing the air we breathe? Was it a morning when a thick haze clung to the sky, smothering the sun for the rest of the day? Or was it a day when you saw aircraft slicing through the heavens, looping in patterns no honest plane would trace, leaving a trail of chemicals that refuse to disappear in the wind? We've all experienced it, that uneasy shift. Those things you can't unsee, the questions you can't unask. When did you know the sky wasn't ours anymore? For years, the media has been spinning fairy tales to dodge these questions, churning out absurd excuses that crumble under scrutiny. They gaslight us with a straight face, parroting the lies fed by their paymasters, oblivious to the damage they're inflicting. Every dismissive headline, every smug debunking is a betrayal, burying the truth and poisoning the bodies and minds of millions.
This is another one of those conspiracy theories that came true. Geoengineering is a real thing. There has been testimony in front of the United Nations. People like Bill Gates and people in government are using geoengineering, which means spraying chemicals out of airplanes in our skies, things like aluminum and barium that are toxic.
And what is the purpose?
To dim the sun. One of the sources of all life on the planet. They want to dim the sun. Aluminum is toxic to all life forms. It has no biological function, use, anything. And it's neurotoxic. They are spraying neurotoxins on us that we can't avoid, that then go into our crops, that are taken up in our rivers and streams, and therefore irrigation water. It's one of the most blatant, flagrant violations of informed consent that's ever existed.
Right now, as we speak, researchers in Florida are hunched over their mass spec machines, dissecting the fallout from those evil trails polluting our skies. And what are they finding? Aluminium, strontium, barium, neurotoxic nastiness that claws at your brain, your body, and your future. To be clear, these aren't nutrients. They're not natural. They're poisons, plain and simple. And it makes no sense whatsoever that they're in our air. Not unless somebody with obscene wealth and a labyrinth of power poured everything into putting them there. We're talking a machine so complex, it would take armies of insiders to pull it off. And here's the kicker. This isn't news to everyone. Over the past year, whistleblowers buried deep in the Gates Foundation have been spilling secrets to this very channel, sounding alarms about these exact toxins. They're screaming what's at stake, and it's chilling. So ask yourself, how much more proof do we need?
Interesting. Florida has put out legislation to ban geoengineering from its skies, and Iowa, Kentucky, and Arizona have already followed suit. Tennessee already banned this last year. So again, another example of how many conspiracy theorists maybe aren't that crazy after all. And yes, there's dispute on whether chemtrails are real or whether they're conspiracy. Some people say they're a contrail. Let's put that aside for a second. It is now undeniable that the government and private companies are already spraying our skies with particles for weather modification to help combat climate change. Okay, even CNN put out an article recently admitting this. So, particles in our sky for climate change, hey? Yeah, no fucking thank you. I don't trust the government to regulate our food or our drugs. They lost my trust a long time ago when they've clearly shown that they care more about their bottom line and their agendas than the safety of the people that are affected by it in society. They get sued for this all the time. Just look it up. And that's if they haven't already struck a deal with the government that makes them immune to the liability of this. So I sure as shit Don't trust them to put particles in our environment for climate change. Okay, I don't know who in their right mind would be okay with that. So allow me to be blunt. Get your fucking head on straight, people, and have some common sense and look into these conspiracy theories before you just emotionally project and make assumptions about the people that are talking about them, because a lot of them lead to truth. And that's the fucking vibe today, baby.
Are these trails a sick experiment sprayed over our cities to choke the life out of us to control the climate? Unfortunately, that's not the half of it. They've been spraying the skies over China for decades. Not just to seed clouds or fight pollution. No, the real purpose has always been control. Mass population control through aerosolized compounds, neurotoxins, mood stabilizers, and even behavioral modifiers. And now it's going global. According to a source deep inside the Gates Foundation, the same whistleblower who was right about the neurotoxins in the payloads, the same chemtrail operations that kept millions in line across China are now being exported, rolled out across the West, with full cooperation from the Chinese government and full funding from Gates-aligned interests. This isn't theory, this is operational reality. The same insider who warned us about the intensified chemical payloads released during COVID lockdowns, neurological agents that altered behavior, numbed outrage, increased compliance, they're saying this next phase is already underway. And if you've been feeling foggy, anxious, and off-center lately, that's not a coincidence. That's calibration. And we've got the details after this important message from our sponsor. The global elite have long looked to China as the model for the future of Western civilization under the boot of the New World Order. World Economic Forum founder Klaus Schwab praised China as a model for the transformation of the world during an appearance on Chinese television. We have to have a strategic mood, he said. We have to construct the world of tomorrow. It's a systematic transformation of the world. The leaders, he said, must define what the world should look like after this transformation period. Schwab's praise for China was stunning, given their lack of human rights and freedom. But George Soros went even further during an interview with the Financial Times. George Soros laid out the global elite's plan for ushering in what he called a new world order during the interview. According to Soros, China must lead this new world order, creating it and owning it, in the same way the United States owns this current order. Central to both Schwab and Soros' admiration of the Chinese system is its brutal suppression of dissent. This has been achieved through many forms, including digital ID, facial recognition software, and a social credit score system that punishes anybody who refuses to comply with the Chinese Communist Party's authoritarian diktats.
So in China, for example, if a traffic camera catches you jaywalking in China, the digital ID system has you. It has your blood now, it has your genetic code, it has your photograph. It can identify how you walk, so even if you can't see a face, you can be picked up by gait. It will convict you of jaywalking and take money out of your bank account with no intermediating judiciary at all, and show a picture of you to the people in the neighborhood so they know that you have jaywalked, and reduce your social credit score. And if your social credit score falls below a certain level, then you can't buy drinks from a vending machine. You can't play video games. You can't go on a train. You can't get out of your 15-minute city. All that's already in place in China.
Research from the East tells a chilling tale. Chemtrails aren't just streaks in the sky, they're tools of control. In China, planes are spraying a sinister mix, a cocktail of chemicals and airborne compounds designed to bend minds and break wills. Not just toxins, but something darker. Substances that tweak behavior, dull resistance, and keep the masses in line. These trails are the backbone of a silent, skyborne oppression, perfected with terrifying precision. And the Gates Foundation insider warns they're now being sprayed over US population centers, thanks to Bill Gates' collaboration with the CCP.
I don't even know how to start this. What matters is that I work inside one of the most powerful philanthropic foundations in the world. You know the one, the Gates Foundation. Publicly, we're all about saving lives, funding innovation, reshaping the future. Privately, that's all bullshit. We're actually deploying full spectrum domination via every avenue the conspiracy theorists have been warning you about. I joined this place because I believed in the mission. I believed we were building something better, smarter agriculture, cleaner vaccines, environmental sustainability, all of it. But over the last 18 months, I've seen things that tore that belief to pieces. Because what we're doing now is not science, it's warfare. Our foundation is actively coordinating with foreign contractors, including direct partnerships with Chinese government research teams on atmospheric aerosol projects across multiple U.S. population centers. What the public thinks are harmless contrails or cloud seeding experiments, they're not. These are chemtrail operations, and they've gone far beyond weather manipulation. The sprays being deployed now are laced with neurochemical agents, cocktails engineered to suppress emotion, blunt cognitive function, and reduce population reactivity. I've reviewed the formulation sheets. They contain substances in doses that would be classified as crowd control weapons under international law. But that's not the worst part. I've been reviewing data from our lab, and what we're finding is horrifying. In the latest run, we detected barium-137 at concentrations over 150 parts per million, far higher than anything naturally occurring in the atmosphere. For those who don't understand what that means, Ba137 is a short-lived radioactive isotope. It's not made in nature. It's the byproduct of cesium-137 decay, a known component of nuclear waste, the kind used in dirty bombs, the kind that's supposed to be locked away for centuries. So the question is, why the hell is it raining down on Texas? We also found cadmium, mercury, aluminum, copper, lead, all in the same sample. And yet nobody seems to care. No emergency declarations, no advisories, nothing. The internal conversations are even worse. The arrogance, the sociopathy. The founder, he sits in meetings talking about planetary balance and population pressure like he's some kind of digital god. I once heard him say, most people are just bandwidth noise. You manage that like you manage code, shut down unnecessary processes. That's when I knew I had to get out. I don't know how far this goes, but I know what I've seen. I've archived the mass spec reports. I've made copies of the supply chain logs. I have names, dates, formulas, and I can't stay silent anymore. If you're listening to this and you're inside the system, if you're a pilot, check your conscience. Look at what we're doing. We're poisoning our own people under the banner of progress. And if someone doesn't blow this wide open soon, there might not be a world left to warn. I'll release more soon, if they don't find me first.
The New World Order agenda isn't some shocking new revelation. It's been hiding in plain sight for over a century, woven into the fabric of our world. They've been playing a long game, dropping clues most people never notice. For decades, brave voices have tried to sound the alarm about the elite's evil plans. Take a look at this urgent warning from 1993, one the masses completely overlooked to their peril.
They want to enslave your child, your wife, your mother. There isn't anything that you ever had. There isn't anything that you own. There isn't any right that you possess that they're not planning on taking away. Sheeple. Your sheeple. And your children are going to be slaughtered if you go along with the program. It's time to wake the town and tell the sheeple. We are being led like sheep to the slaughter. What is the purpose? A new world order. The United States of America is controlled by this evil army. They control the money system. They control the State Department. They control the presidency.
So they have a plan to give us a new age world global occultic religion. They're going to have been deceived so greatly that they'll actually think it's something good. In fact, the whole New Age movement, the New World Order crowd is telling people that the 666 mark of the beast is the most elite thing that could ever happen to them.
No cash. Cashless society. It's ready to go. Disease could be created. In essence, this is what he was saying.
We have new strains of virtually everything that's drug resistant or drug free.
I'm not worried about the old diseases. I'm worried about the ones that they create to bring down the population of the world. They said they want to exterminate them, but that they consider them to be useless eaters.
Words are very important to the Illuminati. These things are manufactured purposely for a purpose. And so I'm saying that there is something organized and directed, and it's here in this country.
Future shocker biochip. And this is what Anthony showed you earlier, a biochip. That's an injectable computer chip, an economic mark.
Przypominamy, że na naszym kanale nie ma płatnych reklam i jeżeli uważasz, że robimy coś wartościowego, to możesz wesprzeć naszą pracę poprzez datek dowolnej wartości. Możesz też nas wspomóc, odwiedzając sklep partnerski KILLUMINATI, który oferuje odzież, literaturę dla wszystkich przebudzonych. Jest to świetna forma wyjścia z przekazem poza internet. Linki znajdziesz pod filmem. Pozdrawiamy, KILLUMINATI Team.
Dodaj łapkę w górę i subskrybuj nasz kanał. Pozdrawiamy, KILLUMINATI Team.